you guys. Thanks so much for clicking on my channel. We're all smiles over here. I am Will Sunja. It's like asking a question. Will Sunja help you keep your smile for today? And hopefully the answer is yes, you guys. I'm trying not to keep it long, but you already know. If it gets good, I'm going to keep on talking. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to go to negative today is God is still in control, whether you like it or not. Then why do I say that? It's because there are times when we ask God to do things for us and to do them in a certain way or in a certain pattern. And when God doesn't do it, we catch an attitude. We get bitter. We're a lot of enemy to try to plant a seed in our head to say what? God ain't able. God ain't in control. God ain't really God. He ain't do it for me. He ain't heal my family from cancer. He ain't heal my sister from this. He didn't give me that job. He didn't let her be my wife. He didn't let him be my husband. He didn't. So now something's wrong with God. Can I tell you something? When you ask God for something and he doesn't do it, you know what you should do. You say, God, I thank you so much. Oh, God, thank you. Because you know what? God would rather, listen carefully, God would rather break your heart just a little bit just to save your life. Did you hear me? God would rather break your heart just a little bit just to save your life. In other words, what? Just to make sure that you be in his perfect will. Which means what? The will to success, the will of success, the will of gratitude, the will that when he blesses you, it adds no sorrow. Here's the thing. When you allow God to put you in his permissive will, there are consequences that comes with permissive will, which means what? You're going to go through some stuff. God is saying, that's not your husband, but you begging and pleading, and God grants that man to be your husband. You're going to go through something. You are. Why? Because that's not God's perfect will for you. It said that what? Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. In heaven is the perfect will of God. So if you're not asking for God's perfect will, then that means you're wanting the will of your flesh. And God, like I said, will grant that. He will grant it in some cases. But in some cases, he will not grant permissive will for you. Why? Because if he knows that if he grants that permissive will for you, then here's what will happen. It will destroy you. God is intelligent. He is way smarter than what you, me, and anyone else could ever be. He is. And he has already written your narrative, your story. He knows what you're supposed to be, do, and have. Not just for today, but for way down the line. And if you keep asking for what you're asking for right now, and God knows that it's going to prevent you from being at your best, it's going to destroy you, it's going to keep you from him, guess what? He ain't going to allow it. He's not. He's going to break your heart just a little bit to save your life. He's going to break your heart just a little bit to make sure you end up with what you're supposed to have so that you can be in his perfect will. But a lot of times when we're not aligned and connected, we catch attitude with God because he didn't do it. Because he didn't let that young man be our husband, or he didn't let that young lady be our wife. You get what I'm saying? He didn't let you get that particular job. He didn't heal your dad from cancer, or heal your brother from diabetes, or heal your grandmama from whatever. And you get so upset. Perfect story, true story. My father, awesome dad. God showed him how to show us how to laugh. God showed my dad how to show me and my sister and brother how to smile. God showed us through my dad what love really is. But you know what? My dad had some flaws. He did, just like all of us. My dad would go out and party. He would drink, and he would experiment with drugs sometimes. He would. Thankfully, he wasn't an addict or anything, but if he was out with his boys and somebody had something that was new on the market, my dad was like, yeah, I'll try it. He knew how to hold his liquor, in other words, and at times he knew how to hold any drug that he was taking. And so when my dad got cancer, I was praying and asking God to heal my dad, heal my dad, heal my dad. Because for so long, my dad was great. He was good. He was able to always keep a job. still see about me and my sister and whatnot, show us love. Love is like a father's supposed to love their daughter, so they'll know what real love feels like. They'll know how to be appreciated by a young man. He was able to show us that. And that was back in 1998, right? When my dad got pronounced with cancer, we were praying our heads off to where they were about to explode, saying, God, heal, God, heal, God, heal. God, we know you're a healer. We know you're a healer. We know you're a healer. And guess what? It did not happen. And was my heart broken a little bit? It was. Why was it broken? Because I was really looking forward for God to heal my dad. But God had to remind me, whether he did it or not, he's still a healer. And then God reminded me, you know how your dad would go out with his buddies and would try this and that with drugs? And this was before meth, okay? Before meth got on the scene the way it is. Just imagine if God had healed my father. Okay? Heal my dad. And then he go out with his friends and meth is out. And then he tries meth. And it gets him. Can you imagine what kind of memories, what kind of stories I'll have for you about my dad today? Can you imagine? Can you just imagine? That's why I say God knows. He knows what's best. He's always in control. He has already written your story. He has already written my story. So no matter how much we want a certain thing, what we should ask before we ask of anything is, God, let it be in your perfect will. God, whatever I'm about to ask you, God, let it be in your perfect will. And if it's not in your perfect will, God, guide me to the will of your perfection, so that when I pray, I'll get exactly what you want from me. There's a Proverbs, I'm going to read it for you. It says this: many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that will prevail. That's in Proverbs 19:21. And it reads a little different because that's not the King James Version. But anyway, y'all, God's purpose will prevail, especially if what you're asking is going to derail you and keep you away from God forever. In other words, it's going to destroy you. If God knows what you're asking for is going to destroy you, then he will break your heart just a little bit to do what? To save your life. He will. So listen, whether God does it for you or not, he is still in control. Trust him, believe in him, and know that he got you one way or the other. Why? Because at the end of the day, God says, well, all things are working together for the good for you. They're working out for the good for you. They are. Doesn't matter if you don't get the job. It's still working out good for you. Why? Because God knows your story. He knows the beginning, middle, and the ending. He got you one way or the other. God is in control. He is still in control. Trust him. And don't settle for the permissive will. Aim for God's perfect will. And I can guarantee you that you will be satisfied. You will be happy. God says the blessings that he give you, which is in his perfect will, it does not add any sorrow. You will be happy. The husband that God does have for you, he's going to treat you right. He is. The wife that God does have for you, she's going to treat you right. Oh, you listen to me. The job that God does have for you, it's going to do what it's supposed to do to promote you and praise you and put you in a proper position, which is what? In promotion. Above only. It will. God knows what he's doing. There's nothing under the sun that he doesn't know about. Darkness is of light to him. He knows what's going on. You only can fathom what your eyes can see or what your ears can hear. God goes way beyond your physical abilities. He goes way beyond that. He does. So he knows what's best. Trust his best for your life. And that's his perfect will. And like I said, when you do that, you'll find that God's will is your best. It's the best option for you. He can do all things. He can. But just because he doesn't come through for you in a request doesn't mean that he couldn't do it. It just means that he has something better for you. You get it, got it good. I hope so. But if you didn't get it, rewind and watch again. But in the meantime, in between time, if you take just a little bit of what I'm telling you and apply to your life to the best of your ability, you won't ever have the massive smile. Why? Because your smiles will always be genuine. I'll talk to y'all soon. Be blessed, stay blessed, be blessed, stay blessed, be blessed, stay blessed. Remember, God is still in control. And don't aim for God's permissive will. Aim for his perfect will, okay? And you will be blessed. I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all know what's coming next. Ciao.